Hey there, this is Tom Johnston with TomJohnston.org. Today we're going to talk about one of the simplest ways for you to massively turbo boost your financial situation and get things moving, and that is cars. If you are a hardcore car person, this video may or may not be for you. And by the way, I respect that. I've known a lot of people who just love cars. I think it's cool. I'm not one of them. I like cars. I enjoy getting from A to B, but it's not too much more meaningful for me than that. Here's how you can be smart about cars. The first is buy a used car. If that feels funny to you, let me ask you a question. If you buy a 2 to 3 year old used car with 20,000 miles on it that's in very good shape, maybe just coming off the lease from somebody who kept it in a garage and hardly drove it, what's the bloody difference? I mean, other than something psychological, you're getting a basically brand new car, but it will have depreciated probably a quarter, if not a little bit more in value. And the great thing is that not only when you buy a used car, which by the way, I would suggest you, well, that's another conversation, which we might get into in another video, whether you buy directly from an individual or a dealer, but let's not go there. Not only are you saving money on just the straight up thousands of dollars that you won't pay, but there's all these other costs like the sales taxes that you won't have to pay, the registration fees that will be much lower. There's just a lot of ways in which this gets a lot cheaper. I do want to say there's a non-monetary plus, which is maybe you're not like me, but I have owned a couple of new cars in my life, and I'm a little bit psycho for those first few months, like worried about it getting scratched. And, whereas if you buy a slightly used car that might not even have scratches, I don't know, psychologically, you're just like more chill. You just throw your stuff in there and you go do your thing. And so for me, I actually find it a little bit mentally more chill. Now, maybe that says something about my psychology. I'll fully admit that, but I bet there's a lot of you out there for whom that's the case as well. You could just cycle through this, right? Like buy a used car that's like 2 to 3 years old and then sell the thing after 10 years. I usually own cars 10 years or more, but maybe like when you get to the 130, 140,000 mile mark, because then you start having a lot more things go wrong. That's really up to you. But in any case, you could just keep doing this, and over the course of your life, if you really do this regularly, you will save hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you invest that money, you're talking easily, I bet you could be at the end of your life $500,000 to $1 million wealthier just from this simple thing of buying slightly used cars. And this is one of the things that I love. I love when you can save money in a way that doesn't actually diminish the quality of your life. And for me, not having the pristine brand new car, it makes no difference. As I said earlier, I might actually prefer it to be slightly used when I first get it. There's other aspects of this, which is you may be using cars to try to buy status. And I'm not actually saying we need to transcend that. We're all mammals, and all mammals kind of have their place in the pecking order, and we're all signaling that. But I think we can do it more cleverly. I mean, first of all, who really needs to know that your 2-year-old car is not new, other than like your closest circle of friends who aren't going to care anyways? Nobody's going to know. And if you get like a really good shape one, nobody's going to know. Another thing, you can be a little bit clever like about status. And again, some of you out there may or may not agree, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. But, you can buy a $50,000 BMW, or you can buy like a super cool, I don't know, like hatchback, sporty looking hatchback car that's a couple years old for like 15 grand or maybe even 12 grand. And I mean, for most people out there, 50,000 bucks for like a brand new Jeep, or even more for a Beamer, versus $15,000 on an after-tax basis, meaning like after all the taxes come out, like how much time would it take you to make that money? Let's say it's 50,000 versus 15. The net difference is 35. Let's say you needed to make $45,000 to net out $35,000 to buy the difference. I mean, a lot of people, to save that kind of money, that's like a couple years or well over a couple years of work that just by being a little bit smarter, you don't have to do. I mean, to me, this is a no-brainer. And I got to be honest, I bought a new car one time, and because I was overseas and shipped it, and it's hard to explain, I sold it for what I bought it after driving it for 3 years. So that was a pretty good deal, although I paid a lot more on insurance. Another time, probably because I was in this status signaling point of view, I bought a new car, and honestly, I was like, what have I done? This was so stupid. Like, within a couple months, the thing had depreciated thousands of dollars. It cost me so much more in registration fees. So look, I've done it myself. We all are learning. In some ways, it's probably helped me to feel this more deeply to make this video for you. But be smart about it. There's one other thing I want to mention because some people don't think about it, and that is fuel efficiency. You know, it really adds up, the cost of fuel over the course of your life. And as of the time of this video, 2017, you can get like a Subaru Outback and be getting like 24 miles to the gallon, or you can get some other hatchbacks that probably look similarly stylish that get like 35 miles to the gallon. That's a profound difference over the long haul. Now, admittedly, the Subarus are four-wheel drive. That's probably why they're getting poor gas mileage. In certain circumstances, you may need that four-wheel drive. But the broader point is be really thoughtful about fuel efficiency. If you hardly drive, actually that may not be relevant. If you drive like 5,000 miles a year is all, and you do the math on 10 miles per gallon different, it's actually pretty low. I mean, it's great if you can get it, why not get it? But be smart about that as well. You know, you want to make sure that it's a significant amount of money if that's helping drive a decision between a couple of different cars. I'm not going to get too much further in the weeds here. The main thing is have the guts to like go your own way and be smart and get a slightly used car. If you're totally not into cars or you never drive, then get a much older car. That's not my style. I like having cars that aren't giving me problems. I would be even financially better off to do that, but you know, we all do these trade-offs. But in my opinion, the big savings happens when you're not letting that car depreciate in those first couple of years, 2 to 3 years. So have the guts to not have to like prove to the world that you're prosperous by blowing your money on new cars, and be much better off financially for it. And that'll help you build the emergency fund quicker if you need to, build out your financial buffer, start investing, and being on the road to financial independence. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Tom Johnston. If you did like this, please feel free to give me a like, a thumbs up on there. That actually does help this video reach more viewers through the YouTube algorithm. And feel free to subscribe to the channel as well, excuse me. And I will see you soon. Thank you very much.